Gonna spin around for us?
You can't even spin around in them. This is ridiculous.
We are joined by our pole sitter for Sundays, The Prophet on CNBC 500, presented by Small Business Fueling America, Brad Keselowski, driver of the number 2 Alliance Truck Parts Ford. Brad, talk a little bit about your run out there, set a new track qualifying record along with your teammate Joey Logano today.
Yeah, I mean, obviously a really fast car, and there's some pride to be taken in being the first one to win a Sprint Cup pole with this format. I'm sure it'll undergo a couple adjustments along the way, but it's still very rewarding and a testament to my team and how fast a car they gave me. And then it was just a matter of executing on my end, and we were able to do that. I didn't think I'd ran a good enough lap, to be quite honest, but when they told me the time, I said, all right, I'll take it. So it's good.
Talk also a little bit about the qualifying format itself and your thoughts as you went through the process. Obviously, your 4th pole in your Cup career, so this is pretty significant.
Well, I don't know how to say it, but it feels like a lot of things are coming together for me personally just over the last few months, whether it's personally or professional, and even the rule changes. And I think qualifying has been one of those formats that I've struggled with. Just doesn't really suit my style in the past, where this qualifying format really does suit my style a lot better. It gives me a chance to kind of learn and apply, which to me was instrumental in our success today and hopefully in how it will go forward. So, it's interesting how small little format changes like this can really favor or disfavor certain teams and individuals, and this one is one that obviously we've been able to take like a fish to water, and hopefully we can continue to do that.
Okay, we'll open up for questions. We'll start right here with Reed, then go to Jeff, then go to Bob.
Reed Spencer with NASCAR Wire Service. So, just impressions, was it fun, interesting, hairy, all of the above? And
it's a lot more nerve-wracking, and there's usually a pretty good rule of thumb that if it's a lot more nerve-wracking for drivers, it's a lot more fun for fans and partners and all those things. So, that's a good thing. I'm more curious the feedback that we get from our fans and everyone else as to whether or not they liked it, because at the end of the day, it's not about whether I like it, it's about whether they like it. I like it because it fits my style. So, but that's neither here nor there. It's about whether our fans care for it more. I'd be interested to see the feedback over time.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Jeff, then go to Bob and Tom.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. McMurray said that they were talking about doing the slow laps even last night at dinner, and that he thought that everybody had already decided that coming in here that they were going to be doing those kind of laps. It wasn't like a copycat type thing. Was that part of your – did you think that was going to happen? Did you anticipate people doing those cool-down laps? And where do you think that goes from here as far as safety and maybe changes?
Yeah, I mean, I did anticipate everyone doing that here. It'll be different at other tracks. This is the interesting thing about this format is you can't make a template and say this is what you'll see every week, because small variables have a tremendous effect on what strategy is going to be more successful. For this particular track, with the sun setting as it was, and the hard tire compounds, it's one specific format was successful that most likely will not be successful next weekend at Vegas, which is a little bit bigger track with obviously a different tire compound, and I think the sun does set while we're there qualifying. But so there's all kinds of small variables, and it just takes one of them to change the successful strategy it's going to take. So that's very interesting to see how it's going to work out. And but at the end of the day, I think 9 times out of 10 you're still going to see the fast cars be at the front.
Safety-wise, was it any concern to have slow cars going around the track while
Well, I think it's always a concern to see cars that are significantly slower than other cars on the track, and that's why NASCAR has a minimum speed rule in the race. What's difficult is if you're in NASCAR's position and you disallow those tactics, then essentially you're just going to kill this format. It's not going to work because the cars won't be able to be cool enough to run a second or third time, which is really what makes this format relevant. So it's kind of a tough line to walk, and I think we're so early in the stages that it's too early to tell what will work and what won't. At this level, I think that this strategy or this tactic is probably more acceptable than at the lower levels where the speed gap between the first place car and the slowest car is a lot more prevalent, and I think that'll show up. Driver experiences as well will show up, and that creates a little more of a concern. But I still think it's just way too early to tell, and I think much like anything else, it probably needs to get a couple weeks under its belt, and then we can maybe draw a little better conclusions on where we're at.
Okay, we'll go to Bob and then go to Tom on the front row.
Bob Piper, Sporting News. One of the kind of new things about this qualifying is that you're actually out of your car and you're on your radio during the session. When you're on the radio, are you talking with your guys about strategy? Are you talking about changes to the car?
I was trying to get permission to go to the bathroom, so I came in the media center, and Paul said I could. My lap was fast enough that he thought I'd make the next round, so the people downstairs can attest to that. Made a little pit stop.
Microphone, Bob.
Was there something more than else that you were? I mean, I'm not asking what you were talking about specifically, but just kind of topic.
I made it. Yeah.
Okay, we'll take our next question up front from Tom.
Hi, Brad. Tom Jensen, FoxSports.com. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What was the strategy in going out at the very start of the run? Because I saw also some guys went out at the end.
I just get bored sitting around, Tom. I can't sit and watch other cars run. It drives me crazy. So I got in the car, and they just said, well, do you want to wait? Do you want to go? And I already fired it up and drove off. So I'm not a very patient guy, and I felt like that was the right thing to do, is just go when you're ready, and I was ready.
And I have to ask you a quick unrelated follow-up. Did you see there's a private auction of 200 tanks?
I did, yes. I'm on it. Believe me, I'm on it. I told everybody I'd buy one if I won the Daytona 500. I need more money, but I didn't win the Daytona 500, so I got to win this weekend. I don't know what this race pays, but I need a little bit of help.
Okay, we'll come back up front to Reed.
It's really tight in here, isn't it?
It's not really relevant to ovals, but you and Joey obviously have an IndyCar affiliation with Penske. Kyle Larson does with Ganassi. They use the knockout format for road course qualifying. Is there any sort of advice or any sort of help that you got from any of your IndyCars?
Oh yeah, Roger was all over that one. He loves it. So he provided his feedback, which is great. And it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. At the end of the day, stock cars and Indy cars are drastically different, but the formats are very similar. I think that there's other rules over there that really separate them. One of those small variables is the tire compounds that they use, which are they have their soft compounds and all those things over there that we don't have different compounds. So that kind of throws a little hitch in to be able to really carbon copy anything over there. But I'm sure there's small things that we'll continue to push for that go back and forth.
Final question for Brad. All right, we'll take a final one right there. Dustin
Long, MRN.com. There's not another MRN, it's just .com?
That's the new branding. Did anything surprise you out of today? I mean, certainly there's a lot of talk, a lot of speculating. Was there something that surprised you that happened? Was there something that surprised you that didn't?
Well, my lap surprised me because I didn't feel like I hit a great lap. But, my best qualifying efforts are always the ones where I come across the line and go, sorry, guy, I didn't get enough out of it. So maybe I should learn something from that. But other than that, no, I think we saw what I thought we'd see. Based off of, I did get the opportunity to do the nationwide version of this at Daytona, which is, I think, the only one that's happened so far. So I had a little bit of maybe an expectation in mind. But other than that, no, I didn't see anything that really stuck out. Like I said, more than anything else, I'm just curious the feedback that we get from our fans and those that follow the sport as to whether they like it or dislike it. And I think that'll really I'm kind of neutral. So
as much as you talk about being impatient, obviously going out early, you do a fast lap, it gives you more time to cool the engine. Was that as much a factor? And also, was it a concern of going out early, just getting it out of the way so you don't have to worry about traffic and not potentially getting blocked?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. Certainly, if you go out later, you have to go by all these cars that are 30, 40 mile an hour off the pace, and that could cause its own set of issues. So it was good that we didn't have to do that.